Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you please press the button at the bottom that says subscribe? Your girl made it on Photoshop. And Photoshop, let me tell you, it's not my strong suit. But I did it, I survived, I made it. So I'd really appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button. And especially click it if you want more videos on self-development, narcissism, and healing yourself. So today's topic is on ego and how the ego can affect your life. So what is an ego? An ego is your sense of self. It's your self-esteem and your sense of importance. The way I explain it is that you have your ego, your sense of self, then you have how people view you, and you have who you actually are. We all have an ego, but sometimes our egos can get too big and it can get in the way because you envision yourself as a certain type of person when it is very far from what's actually happening. So why do some people have bigger egos than others? Well, there's two things. One, you may have formed an ego because you didn't feel important. So in order to compensate with that, you gave yourself false confidence. You didn't feel important, so you overly made yourself important. This is very big with narcissists. And not even that, it can also happen if you've been through a type of abuse. You can also start to form a big ego because your ego is frail and it is bruised. Or you can form an ego because people told you how great you were and no one really told you where you went wrong or things you can improve on. You didn't really have anyone to humble you and say like, hey, there's things that you can improve on. You were made to believe like you know everything and you're so smart, you're so good at this, that you don't need anyone to tell you anything different. If you are someone that where your ego does get in the way, you are someone that actually is very fragile, and you are someone that it's very hard for you to take criticism because it's chipping away at your fragile ego. And you actually underneath it are insecure because you don't have the strong foundation of validating yourself. You are always looking for other people to tell you. So underneath that ego, you actually are hurt, misunderstood, and frail. Your ego is there to protect you from any vulnerability or from anyone to hurt you. It's a defense mechanism. Like, okay, you can't tell me because I already know. It may be protecting you from feeling stupid or from any abuse you've taken or from not able to genuinely validate yourself and your own feelings. So the way you know if your ego is getting in the way is if you're very defensive. So if people try to correct you or they say certain things to you, you'll become very defensive and not hear what they have to say, but more so be like, I already knew that, oh, I already did that. Or maybe even become a little bit condescending, like everyone knows that, like how do you not know that? And that's something that I actually have struggled with. It's that growing up in an abusive home, I had to form an ego about certain things because I was told I was nothing, or I was stupid, or I didn't know certain things. So I would become really protective over certain topics and be very defensive about it. Another thing that can happen is if you struggle with ego, you can make things very personal and you make it about you. So something could be going on, like let's say someone else is upset, you may make it about you, like I can't believe I have to deal with this right now. Or if someone maybe is nasty and they're not really directly being nasty to you, they're just maybe in a bad mood, you'll take it personally and just think like, oh, I can't believe they were nasty to me, how dare they? So you can take things very personally. You may be angry or jealous at other people's success. It's hard for you to see other people shining because you may be used to the attention, or you may not, or you may have struggled with not getting a lot of attention, so you always crave that attention, that you crave that validation, you crave constantly being told that you're so good because you didn't genuinely validate yourself and you always had other people validating you, or you had people constantly putting you down, you gave yourself false confidence. It's hard for you to be happy for other people's success. It makes you feel bad about yourself. You may set unattainable goals. So you don't have acceptance of your reality you feel like you need to go bigger and bigger and you need to continuously fill these unattainable goals because your ego is completely getting in the way over your reality. You may crave constant respect and recognition. Like I had mentioned with the validation, you didn't receive validation. You weren't taught how to healthily validate yourself. So you're always craving it from other people. And when you don't get it, you may go out of your way to get that recognition or that respect. And sometimes you may come off as braggy or talk about yourself so that way you'll be in a position that someone will give you that attention and praise that you've been looking for since you're not giving it to yourself. You may always have to be right. So even if it's a subject that you may not know a lot about, or it's a subject you do know a lot about, you always have to be the one that's right. You have to one-up them because it's hard for you to think that someone else knows more than you because, again, it's that ego getting in the way. It's that importance getting in the way. You don't feel important if you don't know more. And you will always want more. So you may feel like things aren't enough and you will want more attention. You will want more praise. You also may be very competitive. So when there's something going on, you may make it a competition unintentionally, but it's always like you have to be better, you have to be the best one, or otherwise you feel upset, you feel bad about yourself, and you feel invalidated. It also pushes people away. Like I had mentioned, when you are very combative or you aren't able to take in what other people are saying, it's hard for people to get close to you or be able to share things with you because they know you may just get defensive or you may react in a condescending, nasty type of way. And it also can make you feel very misunderstood because you are not fully being yourself. You are not being vulnerable. You are not giving a full representation of yourself. You're just giving the protective you, the ego you. So you may not be able to fully explain things that are going on because you already know and no one else can help you. The reason why this isn't healthy is because when your ego gets in the way, it stops you from growing. So you are not able to grow as a person because you are not able to take in what other people are saying because you think you know already and you have an idea and it's hard to talk to you about things because of this. So how do you heal that frail ego? How do you heal yourself from your ego getting in the way? First thing is to recognize when your ego is getting in the way. So recognize when you're getting defensive, recognize when you think you know everything, recognize when you're making it about you, or you're feeling jealous of other people, when you're being competitive, when you're craving attention or respect or recognition, or when you're trying to be right. Recognize it as soon as it happens. And then that's when you need to change your mindset. So you can validate yourself and say, yeah, I do know those things, but I can hear what other people say. So try to take on a new mindset. See what you can learn rather than taking it as an attack where you have to defend yourself. You can always learn new things. People aren't trying to attack you in what you already have. You can recognize what you have as well as being open to what other people are having to say. Take other people's feedback as useful rather than they're attacking you or it's extreme criticism. Even if someone says something that you don't necessarily agree with, take it in and say like, okay, do I see where I can learn from this? If you feel like it's something that you don't agree with, that's perfectly fine. But it's good for you to have that open mindset to take in criticism and take it as a learning experience rather than as an attack. Acknowledge you don't know things and ask for help. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help. You don't actually know everything. If you be vulnerable, you can connect with others. Sometimes it can be lonely when your ego gets in the way because you do feel misunderstood and you don't feel like anyone gets you. So it's okay to take feedback. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to say, hey, I don't know everything. I do know some things, but I don't know everything, and that's okay. I'm human just like everyone else. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's on their own journey. Some people have things you don't have, and you have things other people don't have. That's okay. That's life. You don't have to have everything. You don't have to be a double package. That's why it's important you accept yourself the way you are, you give yourself love, you validate yourself, you say, I am smart and I can't wait to learn. So it's a balance of you are validating yourself, but you also are open to more things. It's important you don't look for that validation and you form a strong sense of self and you know who you are. The only way we can form a strong sense of self is by one, being open to what your trusted loved ones have to say, and 2, trying out things and being open to new opportunities and not thinking we know everything. You want to build up a healthy self-esteem rather than a cocky one. You want to accept yourself and others, because sometimes when you do have ego, you can be critical of not only yourself but others. So you want to accept yourself the way you are and accept others also, they have flaws. And that's okay, that's perfectly okay. Work on loving yourself and accepting who you are and being able to validate yourself rather than always looking for other people to validate you first. They're the extra. And the last thing is to let go of control. Something that sometimes happens is that with ego, you may try to control things that are out of your control. Let go of that control. You don't have to control everything. Focus on the things you can control, which is yourself, which is who you talk to, who you surround yourself with, and how you take in other people's opinions. That's what you can control. You can't control what other people say. You cannot control how other people react to you. You can only control yourself. With ego, you need to build a healthy self-esteem. You need to give yourself validation for good things and not feel like people are out to get you or they're attacking you just because they say something. You want to be open to what other people would say so you can grow and you can form loving, healthy relationships. So with letting down your ego, 1, you want to build a healthy self-esteem. So that means loving yourself, giving yourself validation, taking in what other people have to say, and knowing who you truly are. Recognize when you're getting defensive or you're using those coping mechanisms to defend your ego, and then try to react differently. Be open to what other people are saying. Acknowledge you don't know everything. Ask for help. Try to be more vulnerable with people and let people know more about you so you don't feel so misunderstood. What do you guys think? Leave it all in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. Welcome back. It's Missy. Could you do... Okay. I'm Photoshopped. Let me tell you, it's not my strong suit. I may have had a little bit of a help from a friend. I'm not going to take full credit, but I promise I did it. I promise I did something. How do you heal yourself from your... It's very common